Yeah. Step in the circle, queens rise and glow. We talk truth, let the inner light show. Real ones link, we ain't moving alone. Faith, fire, purpose, built in the bone. Mind on mission, heart stay aligned. Sisterhood strong, power redesigned. Checking in weekly, spirit refined. We break through the noise, wisdom divine. Hey,
Sisterhood check-in, tap into light. God in the light, though, we fight the good fight.
No mask, no shame, come as you are. From broken to bold, yeah, we're raising the bar.
Sisterhood check-in, tap into light. This ain't just talk, we walk with the word.
Faith in motion, fly like a bird. Every episode is spark, get back on your feet. Let clarity, power, purpose, peace. Chains fall down and the cycle cease. Every queen tuned in, know you belong. You're chosen, equipped, and spiritually strong. Sisterhood checking, vibe don't lie. Built from the pain, but we rise so high. In the middle, we fight the good fight, no mask.
Hey yo, Sisterhood check-in, tap into light. God in the light, now we fight the good fight.
No mask, no shame, come as you are. From broken to bold, yeah, we're raising the bar.
Sisterhood check-in, tap into light. This ain't just talk, we walk with the word.
Faith in motion, fly like a bird.
Yeah, yo.
Welcome to Sisterhood Check-In. I am your author and coach, Nadira Lewis, and it is Friday. Woo! I am excited, guys, because I have two amazing guests with me here today that they are going to be pushing past their fear and sharing with us, yes, you guys also, about what it's like to start a podcast. And we're going to even give you a little snippet of what that podcast sounds like and what they're going to be doing. So I'm excited, guys, because anytime Friday comes, I tell you all the time, I get super excited. So listen, guys, this is their first time coming together to be able to introduce their podcast. I need you to come closer to the camera. Yeah, come closer to the camera. I want you to help me celebrate their episode that's going to be coming soon. They're going to release it. Today is going to be their release day. So I want you guys to help me, right? Let's give a warm welcome to our guests. But before our guests actually come on, I'm going to play this video for you guys real quick. And when we come back, then we are going to have my special guest here today. I'm so excited. I'm telling you, I have been excited for like over a week. I'm telling you, this year, 2026, Sisterhood Check-In is, I'm telling you, we are doing so many amazing things. And I can't wait to be able to share some of those things with you throughout the broadcast. If you are watching me on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Stop playing. Come on now. Hit the notification button and hit the notification button so you can be notified whenever I upload new videos, because I don't upload videos only once a week. I do upload during the week. So make sure you hit that notification button so you can be notified, okay? If you're watching us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or all the other platforms, make sure you click like and share if you are blessed by the content that Sisterhood Check-In brings each and every week. So I'm going to go ahead and play this quick video for you guys real quick. And the next people you'll see alongside of me will be that of my special guests, Patricia and Carolyn. I'll see you after this.
We are living in a time where true wisdom is rare. We have all kinds of opinions, voices pulling us in different kinds of directions. But where is the clarity? Where is the counsel from the Lord? Wisdom is not just about making good decisions. It's about becoming the woman that God trusts with those decisions. Wisdom keeps you rooted. The Word of God tells us in Proverbs chapter 20, verse 5, that though good advice lies within the heart, deep within the heart, a man with understanding will draw it out. Join the Wisdom Academy, where you'll not only experience change, but you'll be stretched and most of all, transformed by the Word of God.
Oh, what happened to the sound?
Okay, so I was on mute for a little bit, so I had to go back and correct that. So again, for all of you ladies and men that are watching, I would love to be able to introduce to you, new to some and familiar to others, Mrs. Carolyn Taylor and Patricia. Don't get mad at me now. I am not that great. I've been trying to practice your last name for all week, so I'm going to try this. Oalsen.
Oalden, A is silent.
Oalden. Okay.
It's real simple.
Well, welcome, Patricia, to Sisterhood Check-In. I'm so excited to have you and my friend Carolyn on the Sisterhood Check-In podcast. And I know this is your first time, so what I normally like to do, Patricia, is I just want to know, before we get into what you and Carolyn are doing, I want to know, how did you become the woman that you are today?
Me or Carolyn? Which one you want?
Well, you can start, and then we'll let Carolyn go.
Oh, wow. I was born and raised in New York by a Southern woman from Jessup, Georgia, a small town in Georgia. So although I grew up in New York, I had the Southern charm, the Southern way of doing things, treating people with kindness, but being firm with what I mean. So throughout that practice, met Carolyn. We were going to church together, and so we've always been friends ever since we were 11 years old, I think it was 11 years old, 12 years old. So we've always known each other. We've always been in each other's life. I transitioned to Georgia. I went to school down here. And then I was going back and forth to New York, trying to decide where I wanted to be. And then I realized that Georgia is the place where people are thriving and living out those dreams. And so there was a lot of challenges along with that, coming from New York, transitioning down here. But along the way, I found my strength. I found out who I was in that process, because afraid of leaving the nest and then exploring a new territory, trying to just figure it all out. But on that journey, I started finding myself loving the community, loving the people who God was putting in my life, and then also deciding then who I wanted to keep in my life and who I needed to extract from my life. So those lessons along the way have allowed me to be independent, knowing I can rely on the things that God has gifted me with through his vision, through his guidance, just realizing the source versus the resource. And just started honing in on who I was. It took a while before I discovered who I am and whose I am. And so with all of that, started channeling all those energies, helping other people. But then God said, okay, now it's time for you to become the woman that you've always wanted to be. I'm at that place now where it's like all those things that I had in my little treasure box hidden inside in my belly, those things are now finally starting to come to be birthed. And so where I'm at right now is living out that 6-year-old dream. You know, that little girl that used to look at the stars and say, I wonder if I could do this or if I can do that. And then somewhere along the line, you know, God has people to line up with you. And Carolyn has been one of those people who's been there from the onset. And so even though there's things that were hidden, now they're starting to come out. It's like that seed that's been planted. Now it's time for harvest, although it's been a while. But sometimes we just do things and go around thinking that we can circumvent certain things. And it's been there all along. It's just that you needed to tap into it. So that's where I'm at right now. And I think because of my mom and who she allowed me to be, really is kind of exciting, because I feel like I'm in a new birthing era. You know, and so it feels good actually, because I'm at the place now where it's like, let's go. What do we need to do? Come on. because I feel like we got a lot of surrogate mothers around us helping us birth things, but now we're in the birthing position to say, let's go with this dream. So it's time. And that's just really where I'm at right now. And along the way, I had to grow up and learn some things. I'm a little stubborn at times, but but you know how it is. Use that stubbornness for something else to say, hey, I'm gonna be stubborn about making sure this happens. Not only for me, for other people as well. And I love it.
I've always wondered, honestly, just a little, how you have just those pondering thoughts in your head. I've always wondered, like, why is it that when we get to a certain age, that we are set in our ways, that we are like, it is the hardest thing to be like, I'm gonna change. It's like when you're young, you're just spontaneous, and you just do whatever comes to your mind and heart. But it seems like when you get older, you just be like, no, I want what I want when I want it, and I want it like this. And if it's not like that, we have why do you think that is the case?
Because we've seen how things have along the way, we've seen how things can either go right or go wrong. So through all of those things, we've learned our lessons, and we know that we're not going around that mulberry bush. I'm not going around that mountain. Not one time, two. But I've done it 2 times too many, to be honest.
Yeah.
You got to learn your lesson and say, no, this has stumped my toe enough times to know that I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing it again. But we sometimes fall into that place. But we have to learn from those lessons. And I go by this quote: ELLIE. Every lesson learned is essential. So lesson learned is essential.
I like that. I like that.
I want to get my T-shirt, but I haven't done it yet. But we have to learn from the things that we've done, things that we're doing, so we don't repeat it. Because we're in a place now, like you said. Why at this age? Because we don't have time to waste. There's more years.
I so agree with that. And I think too, like you said, we've learned some things, and we just like, okay, we know what works. Sometimes we're just really adamant in areas we know we have most the experience in. Because it's like when you have the experience in some things, it's like, look, this is the way it is, period, point blank, how the kids say, period. That's what it is.
Yeah, because we know the pain points. And although, some of the young people, they don't understand when we're firm about something, it's because we've been through it already. And we just don't want you to experience that. Because it can be a little bit more painful for you than it was for me, because I was equipped for it. So the experience to have to share and make sure that they don't go down that path. So we don't want to go down that same path again. So at this stage, it's like, let's go. We already learned our lessons. So now let's go ahead and start eating the fat off this meat.
I love it. Carolyn. Can you hear me, Carolyn? I think Carolyn's muted. Carolyn, unmute yourself. There you go, Carolyn.
I'm having difficulties.
Okay, Carolyn.
Can you hear?
Yes, you're kind of going in and out.
Yeah, a little difficult.
Maybe she can use her phone.
Keep working on it. Can you use your phone? If you're having issues with your computer, you can use your phone. You can use your phone if you're having issues with your computer. You can use your phone since it already has a dedicated internet.
I'm going to try to get on.
Okay,
on my phone.
Okay. And as soon as you click on that link,
I'll let you get on my phone.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, and those that are watching, thank you so much for your patience. I'm telling you, I've been doing Sisterhood Check-In for 5 years, and I tell you, internet, I don't care how great you plan your day.
Yeah.
There is always this is and it's funny that we're talking about starting a podcast, right? And you don't have to be perfect, right? You just have to be clear about what your message is, and you just have to keep going, right? You have to keep going. If you know you want to be, if you know that you have a message that is going to impact people, you guys can all you have to do is just start, right? The hardest part for people doing any kind of podcast, and I'll share this with you, Patricia and Carolyn too, is that you just got to keep going. Because there's times I've left my guests on the podcast, and I've had to in like 10 minutes trying to log in, trying to get back in. But I'm telling you, God is good. I was able to get back in with no problem, and it just worked out good. So
yeah, you just have to go.
Turn your phone sideways, Carolyn.
Yeah, you just have to go.
There you go.
Am I on there now?
You are
Yes.
on there, girl. Look at
I'm
you.
here. I see you.
Yes. See, that's just another
Oh my
thing that are
goodness.
watching to tell you don't give up. Because sometimes you're gonna have technical issues, but you gotta keep pushing.
There you go.
You gotta keep pushing anyway. So, Carolyn, now that you are here, tell
Turn
us
off your
how
computer.
you became.
I did. I turned it off.
Okay, there you go. Now we hear you.
Okay.
So tell us, share with Sisterhood
Can you hear
Check-In
me?
audience, how did you become?
There we go. All right. Good. I'm here.
Tell us how you became the woman that you are today.
Oh, now I can't hear Nadira now.
You can't hear me? Turn your volume up.
This is so.
Turn your volume up. And this is just proof that things happen.
Had to say
but
something.
You gotta
Something.
keep going.
Okay. Yeah, I can't hear Nadira.
You can't hear me? Now we know that's the devil now. You got to hear Nadira.
You hit your mute. Can you hear me, Carolyn?
I can.
Okay, so you don't hear me.
I can
okay,
hear you.
So you can't hear me? You can't hear me? Okay, so I'm
I can't
gonna
hear
so
Nadira.
you can't hear. Okay, so Patricia, tell her what I said since she can't hear me.
Carolyn, can you hear?
I can hear you. I can't hear Nadira.
Okay, so tell her to tell us how she became the woman that she is today. Can you hear me, Patricia?
I can hear you well. She would like for you to tell us, how did you become the woman you are today? We're translating right now, okay?
Okay, we're gonna make this work one way or the other.
We're gonna push
Because
to
I
get
don't know
to the
what is
lesson
wrong
you
with my
guys can
computer.
learn in podcasting, right? This is another lesson for you guys to learn.
This one down? Okay, hold on.
So something needs to be turned off. It seems like you got two devices.
It could be.
Yeah, I'm
Sometimes
turning that
happens.
one off.
Okay,
Yeah.
what about now?
I still can't hear her though.
Okay, so she's got to make sure.
Turn the computer off.
Yeah, because Patricia can hear me, so that means that it's something on your computer.
Hold
You have
on,
to.
I'm gonna turn the computer all the way off.
Yeah, just make sure that you But if you hear Patricia, I don't see why you can't hear me.
Okay, that's off. So
Can you
Now
still hear
you're
me?
clear?
I
Can
don't
you
know.
hear me?
Nadira, say something.
Something.
This is
You can't hear me? Okay, I'm gonna go back out and come back in.
yes.
Patricia can hear me. Patricia can hear me. Patricia, you can
I
still
can
hear
hear
me,
you.
right?
Okay.
You may have to log off and log back in since you disconnected before. Try one more time. And you should be able, because something happened with the connection.
Yeah, because Patricia could hear me. So if Patricia could hear me, then it could be something she just might need to go back in.
Yeah, and click off because something's still streaming behind her.
Yeah, something's taking her volume. So it could be, make sure it could be something is taking her volume. So if something is using her volume, tell her to make sure there's no video in the background. No video in the background.
Gotta love it. I was already.
It's okay. Log out and log back in real quick.
While Carolyn is working on that, let's take some time to acknowledge while Carolyn is coming back. Let's take some time to acknowledge some of the people that are watching at Zeno.1. Hi, hello, how are you? Thank you for joining us here on Sisterhood Check-In. And we also have Skip On Point Daily One. You a fine black woman. Oh. Okay. Well, thank you.
So get it.
I know, right? Also, the Ultimate Game Brothers said hi, hello. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Another person. Okay, sad. You look so tight. Oh, well, okay. Thank you. Thank you for all the beautiful compliments. So, Patricia, while we're waiting, I think this is her coming in now.
Okay.
Let's see. Are you? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yes, to the finish line.
We will not be defeated.
Let me tell you something, and this is something that this is like your first experience live, right? Being able to see that even though things happen, you got to keep going. People will fall off and come back, but you got to keep going, because guess what? I've been doing this for 5 years, and I was telling Patricia, I had people drop. I was the one to drop off. I dropped off and came back 10 minutes later and got so mad. I told my son, I'm not doing this no more. I'm done. And he was like, no, Mom, keep going. I'm like, so it's you're going to have moments like this, but you got to keep pushing. You got to do it afraid, do it scared, do it when the internet click off. Click it back. Just don't give up. Just keep working. So now that we got you back, Carolyn, why don't you share with us how you became the woman that you are today to our listening audience?
Okay, this is actually the second time someone has asked me this question in my life.
Ooh.
I became this woman through trials and tribulations of my life. Basically learning who I was, basically who I am, I should say, learning who I am and understanding who I am and believing in that, trusting in that, and just going with that. And while I was going with that, it was building my confidence, allowing me to be who I am. Being married to the man that I am also allowed me to be who I am. So it was just forming me, learning the lessons that I was going through. Not easy ones, some were easy, some was hard, but just going through life and trusting and believing that God was forming me to be the person that I have become today. Yeah, so it's a journey, and I'm still learning.
Yeah, I think we all are. I think as long as we're on the earth, we're going to be learning and working on something. I think what happens is we don't see a lot of we don't see a lot of people being as transparent, because everybody wants to appear because of social media. And everybody wants to appear perfect. Everybody wants to appear right, that everything is fixed and there's no issues, right? But I think part of helping people through different circumstances, right? How are we going to, the Bible tells us that says the older women shall teach the younger women, right? So how are we going to teach the younger generation how to get through things if we don't sometimes, because some things you can tell people how to get through it. And I've always told my kids that you're gonna learn two ways. You'll either learn from watching others or you'll learn by experience. And sometimes you need a little bit of both. Right. In order to get the pick. Sometimes you need to learn by experience so that you can be able to understand. And then there's some things you can watch from other people and be like, oh yeah, okay, I've learned that.
Oh yeah.
So you guys are stepping up and doing something that really takes a lot of courage to be able to have something that you want to share with the world and be able to talk about it and be authentic, right? Because that's really what people want. People don't want the perfect version of who you are. They want the real authentic you, like they want to know like your process. That's why I really love, I'm working on a I'm going to do probably within the next month or so, I'm going to do like an oops episode where I get to show all of my oops, right?
Bloopers.
Because everybody has those oops in their lives, right? Where sometimes you're like, dang, I wish I would have never done this. I wish I would have never said this. How did you guys navigate, through life as you had those oops moments? How did you navigate through life?
Go ahead, Patricia.
The oops.
I like that.
A whole lot of oops.
I know all too well what you mean.
How did I navigate? Through a whole lot of prayer.
Yeah.
A whole lot of prayer, thinking about, why did I do this? Was this necessary? And when you look back on it, you're like, ooh, I won't be doing that one again. Or, it's just like getting ready to keep walking forward. And, there's a lot of minds and you're going in certain directions. You're like, no, I ain't going that way because I got popped one time. I said, no, let's go to a different direction. Oops, again. No, you just have to pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to the people in your life. Pay attention to the voices that speak wisdom to you. A lot of those things, when you find yourself in those situations, I've learned to go to my elders. God, when my mom passed, I was always wondering, like, who's going to guide me at this age in my life? So I don't make those oops as often as I was doing. So I learned the importance of having older people around me. And that because of their wisdom, some of the things that they guided me through. And although, you think about, that's old school, but no, we got to get back to the basics so we can navigate and do things a little bit better and making sure that we make wise decisions. And so I had to learn to step back, put the brakes on several things. And I think about even like when I was engaged at one point, God put the brakes on that one quickly. No, this is not who you need to marry, and that was a big whoops. I got away with that one, where I didn't get slapped in the face later, so that's one of those things in life where you really have to listen to that inner voice, listen to God's whispers. And so you don't make those mistakes. So I've learned now to slow down. You don't have to go 100 miles an hour, because that's an oops, so you just have to take your time.
That's a pow.
Yeah. Well, we live in a microwave world right now where everything is yesterday. We have to have it yesterday. So, for me, I'm just glad that I've stopped now to pause and breathe and think about my next move and strategize a little bit different. So I don't have to go through those oops moments, although they're going to happen, but mistakes happen. You learn from, but that's what I've been doing lately. Just pausing. I'm not in the rush season anymore. Not doing it. Not doing it. Just got to be intentional about the direction I'm going in. And making sure that those bumps aren't as that road is not as bumpy like it used to be.
Yeah.
What about you, Carolyn?
You have to learn. I've learned to embrace those oops and understand that there will be oops. They're not perfect, and you can't beat yourself up because you do make a oops. But if you continue to make those same oops, you got to sit back and check yourself and ask yourself, why are you still on that path of making that same oops? But the oops will happen, and we can't, say we have to be able to embrace them basically and understand we're not perfect. We're not perfect. Although everyone wants to perceive themselves as being perfect, we're not perfect, and the oops will happen. And also having, like Pat said, having other people around you who also, for me, having people around me who are not afraid to tell me, like, okay, you shouldn't be going down that path, or that's going to be a big oops for you, because that's what I try to surround myself also with women who will be able to pour into me and let me know that, okay, that's really not what you should be doing, or you're going to make a big oops, or that oops you made. Let's talk about why you made that oops. You have to also be aware of who you surround yourself around, the women who are surrounding you and pouring into you.
Yeah. I think the key word is being aware, because I think what happens is you don't really understand sometimes the value that a person brings to your life until they're no longer available.
Exactly.
And so what happens is, one of the reasons that I'm so adamant in this area called wisdom is because I was one of those that bumped my head, almost broke my neck, almost, almost I like had the bruises. I had the bruises in the head, the bump, because there are some things I was just adamant about, because when it comes to certain things, I've learned this about myself. When it comes to certain things, I'm just really like stiff necked, because if it's what I want or I like,
yes,
I'm like,
I set my face a flint and I'm going at it full speed, like you said, Patricia, full speed. And sometimes that full speed caused me to crash.
Yes.
Sometimes that full speed caused me to bump my head in some areas where I had to then look back in hindsight and realize, wow, I really didn't take advantage of the wisdom that that God put around me. And so I'm really adamant and this is why I really believe that God placed such a burden of operating in wisdom and that being a big word tossed around everything that I do, because not because I've always done everything right, it's because Nadira did a lot of things wrong, right? And it was only in hindsight, right, that I was able to look and say, man, I didn't have to hit my head here. I didn't have to, but I just refused. So to me, I started to learn wisdom through some, like I said, some people learn from experience and some people, they learn from watching others. I learned a lot of my wisdom from experience, from and I've realized how important and relevant it is to be able to teach it to the next generation, to women that are younger than you, whether they're in their teen years. So even when I started my mentoring program some years ago in Jacksonville, Florida, that was my thing. Like, to me, I just wanted to help prevent other young women. If I can catch them younger, right, it's great. But if I don't catch them when they're young, if I can catch them before they get a concussion and get in a coma, right? If I can catch them before they get in a coma,
unidentifiable,
right? And some of them are unidentifiable because they've lost their identity.
Yes.
They lost their identity because sometimes when you're bruised, so much trauma can become your identity. When you are disobedient, disobedience becomes your identity, right? Which is why in the Wisdom Academy, I talk so much about the wisdom framework, because in the wisdom framework, we talk about all of that and how you got through that. What did you fall off at, right? But you got to be willing. That's the thing. You got to be willing to be able to do the work. So let me ask you this, right? When you guys what caused you guys to just say, you know what, we're going to do this podcast, and what was your inspiration around wanting to do a podcast?
Well, I have been planting this seed for years in the women around me, just planting the seed, because those who know me know that I pour into every woman that enters into my life. Because I pour into them. It's just who I am. It's what I do. I love to see women happy and fulfilled and confident in themselves. So I pour into them at every moment I can. And I just been planting the seed with the women around me and saying, we need to do a podcast. We have so much wisdom in us. We need to share it with the world. Now, that's really kind of odd coming from me because I'm a very private person. But as you get older, you realize that your purpose may be something that you just might not be comfortable with. And so Patricia and I was talking after years and years. She and I was talking. It was actually around my daughter's and her fiance's engagement party. And we started talking and she was like, so what are you doing with your podcast? And I was like, I don't know. I'm still planting the seed. And she was like, well, let's get started. And I was like, okay, well, I guess we're doing the podcast. And that's how we started. We just started talking about, we actually started back in July of last year working on this. Putting it together. Because we both had, no idea what we were doing. And at first it was like, okay, it has to be perfect. And then we was like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be perfect because perfect never gets done. And no one's perfect. So finally we got to this point, just being obedient to what God was saying and leading us in the direction he needed to lead us in. And we are just so excited that we are able to do this and pouring into women to help them grow and find their confidence and be comfortable with who they are.
Right. I love that because, I think the older we get or the more purpose minded we get, should I say, because I wasn't that old when I started thinking about this, right? I think the more you kind of hone into to your relationship with God, and you start really like bearing down and seeking God for purpose, right? How to operate in your purpose, how to discover your purpose.
Yeah.
I think what happens is you just become motivated. Like once he reveals it to you, then you look for avenues
Yes.
to be able to show it. Like some people, they might find their purpose, and they might feel like God has put a message on the inside of them, and they may use it through radio, right? Somebody
Mhm.
else might do it through a podcast like us, right? Others people might be on the platform, and some might do it all, right? But I think there is a point when you start to settle in your heart that I want to please God and I want to help these women. Because when you look at the younger generation, it's so
Mhm.
hard not to be grieved,
Yeah.
especially when you look at young women and you
The
see them
women.
suffering for the lack of wisdom, suffering
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
the lack of instruction. And it was something, I'm trying to think where I seen it at. And it was talking about instruction. And I think it was, and I think it was a spirit. I don't know where it was. I heard it and I was like, whoa. And it was saying, oh, I know what it was. I was listening to Dana Chanel. She's on Instagram, her and her husband on Instagram. And she said there was a scripture that she was reading about how what happens when you don't listen to wisdom, when you don't listen to instructions, like the results of what your life is like. And
Yes.
that thing
Ooh.
it just, because I
Ooh.
said to myself, I said, Lord, I remember
Mhm.
being in a lot of those places where I
Mhm.
look back at some of the things I endured as a reason of disobedience, as a
Yes.
reason of not having wisdom, right? And not listening to wisdom and having to experience a lot of hard, because the Bible said the way of a transgressor is hard. Right. And so
Mhm.
there was some things that was taking place in my life when I look back, and even then, I was just like, "Oh, the devil is a liar. The devil is." But I was, yeah, yeah, he was a liar. But I was not seeing how I contributed
Yeah, there you
to
go.
a
Yeah.
lot of. I wanted to blame the devil, but I
Mhm.
didn't want to take accountability for
Accountability.
allowing the devil to use me.
That
Right.
accountability.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be in, to take part in my self-sabotage, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
so I'm really grateful that eventually, before I bust my head wide open, eventually, God placed people in my life to say, hey, this isn't the way, the way to go. So when you guys developed your podcast, what is your message before we announce what after the break, before we announce what your podcast name is and how they can actually and all the details around it? Talk to us about what was like, what's your message, like what is your message when it comes to, like, who is your audience, who are you talking to? Is it women, is it Christian women, is it girls, is it everybody, is it married folks?
Can you
Who is
hear
your
me?
audience?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. Um, it's really about women, where we can have real conversations.
Mm,
Just
okay.
real women with real conversation where the heart meets healing. So we speak from that perspective without
Where the
judgment.
heart meets healing. So
Yeah.
in that messaging of where the heart meets healing, is it biblically based, or is it just, just everyday life stuff? Like
Everyday
okay.
life stuff. Because what's the young people life be lifing?
Be like,
We can be Christian women talking about these real problems.
Yes.
It's
mm,
every
And it,
single person goes through something, but sometimes we don't have a safe place to lay our head, safe
yeah,
place to have the conversation
yeah,
where we're not talking about each other behind each other's back. We're just trying to be that listening ear to where we can say, hey, based on my experience, this is
mhm,
what I've done to help
mhm,
myself see things in a different light. Perhaps
Mhm.
you can consider doing this, that, or the other, and just having a place where they can land.
Yeah.
Um,
mm,
Telling our
and
story.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, just
Just
telling your
telling our
story.
story of our life. We do it. We formed it from like A to Z. So we're
Yeah.
going to go through the
mm,
alphabets, and we're going to pick a word from each one of those alphabets and
Hmm.
speak about what we experience with that word in our
Hmm.
lives.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just
Love
being
that.
transparent, just being transparent, because you never know who's listening and who might have gone through something that you've gone through. And to hear somebody else talk about
Yeah.
it and how you
Mm.
overcame it or went through it,
Mm.
it may be able to help them. You never know. It may be something that they need to
Yeah.
hear. And we,
Yeah.
we have so much wisdom in us, and we've been talking to each other for so many years about what we're going through. It's
Mm.
time to share with other women.
Mhm.
It's time
I
to,
Mhm.
share.
agree.
Mhm.
I
It's
Yeah.
time
agree.
for justice.
And I think I love that there are more women, the more of the right kind of women, because you got a lot of voices out here, right? And there's a lot of voices out here in these internet streets, and some of them are not sound wisdom.
No.
Some of them are voices of the culture,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
so sometimes hearing from the voice of the culture is not always going to be sound, and it's not going to always be right. Just
And they called you to make some more oops.
yeah.
So,
So
oops, that's a whole nother podcast that you may need to start.
really,
Oops.
so I get excited when, and this is the one of the things that I think, to me, even why I even started, because the Lord was like showing me, like, and it took me a while to kind of navigate, because I was like, Lord, how I'm gonna do this. But the
Mhm.
more I've gotten to do it, and the more I started to realize, like, wait a minute, this is me showing up. He said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men unto me. So I started to take myself out of it and be like, okay, God, I'm whatever you tell me. Because there's sometimes, girl, I've got on this podcast and my brain was scrambled, like literally, like
Yes, yes, yes.
my brain was literally scrambled. And when I tell you it was scrambled, I kid you not. Like literally, I remember one day this is so funny, real transparent moment, right?
It's
I remember
okay.
one day I just knew, I was like, I got some wisdom. I'm going to share what the Lord put on my heart. And girl, I went to open up my mouth, and it was like in my head, it was like, and I remember saying to myself, girl, what is you saying? Like, but when I went, because I felt like I was just talking by faith, because I had so much going on that week.
Okay.
And I just didn't have time to really, I don't really plan the podcast in as much
Mhm.
as planning what to say. I really just
Yeah.
depend on God to really just do this, because I didn't want to do this in the beginning in the first place. I'm like, well, God, if you told me to do this, you're gonna have to help me with my words, because I'm stumbling over here, right? And
Mhm.
so that's why I was telling you, Carolyn, like, it's been 5 years and I still get scared, right? I still
Yeah,
get
yeah.
bubbles in my stomach, right? And I remember it was like so many times, like I literally could feel like the words like scrambling in my brain. And I wanted to, one day I just was like, I'm just going to stop this podcast today. I don't know what the heck, I don't know what's coming out of my mouth.
Aw.
I sound like I am all over the place. And so I went back to listen to the podcast. And when I went back, y'all, it was perfectly clear.
See,
And I said,
see.
Wow.
You
what?
remember saying any of it, right?
Well, you did, but he did remove you out of it so
Yes.
that he
He
could
sure
take over.
did. Because my
Mhm.
brain was scrambled that day. Because I was like, when I tell you, I was literally in my head saying, girl, just cut the camera off. Just cut the camera off.
We're talking in tongues. Is that what was going on?
Girl, I was in tongues in my head or something, because I was like, literally, I was like, look, my brain felt scrambled. And I was like, maybe it was interference, the Holy Spirit interference. Like, because
Yes.
I was like, I got to go back and listen to this, because if this don't sound right, I'm deleting it. And I went to listen to it in all the areas that I was afraid I was like, wait a minute, it sound perfectly normal. At least to me it did. It sounded perfectly normal. But these are moments when when you push past those
Yes.
fear of failure, and fear, I call them the 5 moments, the fear of failure, the fear of, and my thing is, I used to always be afraid that I would never say it right. I didn't have eloquent speech.
The
Right.
speech.
So
Yes.
I was always afraid, like, oh my gosh, when people when people listen, they're gonna be like, she say it right, or maybe it was just me in my head that was like, girl, what is you talking about? Because my head was like, but I knew in my head what I wanted to say. I was
the mouth wasn't working.
Words to my brain. But the more I feel like when I look back over my videos, I am so grateful to God because I do see the growth.
Okay.
And so I have this thing where I say, stay low and grow. Right? Stay low and grow. So even when it gets difficult and you say something and you be like, what? If you just keep going, I feel like the Lord will come in, and sometimes people will laugh at it because everybody see, okay, well, if she messed up, then I've got hope, because I know I've got hope because, people will sometimes think that it's easy doing this. It is getting behind this mic in front of, I have a combination of almost 10,000 people, that potential of 10,000 people watching. So I just knowing that gets me freaked out because I'm like, is it going to be one? Is it going to be two? But with you guys, your messaging is about everyday life. So with you guys, so is it going to be like, are you going to do how often are you going to be doing this? Is it going to be weekly, daily? Some people do it 3 times a week. I ain't got that anointing yet, but some people do it once a week.
We plan to dedicate 2 times a month. So every 2 weeks.
Yes. That's what we're being led to right now. That's where we're being led to right now, is to do twice a month.
Wow. So we're having actually a lot of fun doing some of the videos and the tapings and everything, and just trying to allow God to let us know how he wants us to move and what word he wants us to release to the women. Because it's an interaction thing.
So where's your podcast going to be streaming? Is it going to be streaming across all the networks, or are you going to be just YouTube, Facebook? Where are you going to be streaming?
Right now we're on YouTube and IG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those 2 right now.
For some reason, we can't get on Facebook yet. They blocked us. So
they blocked you?
They blocked Pat.
Well, you know what? You might have.
It's Carolyn's fault. She started.
Oh my God. She said it's Carolyn's fault. But you know what? Sometimes if you don't have, I've learned sometimes you get used to just streaming on one page, like your personal page. And then when you build your business page, like when I first started podcasting, I did it on my personal page, right? And so I had, before my page was hacked and I had to start a new page, I did it on my personal page. And so when I was doing that, I realized that, my audience was used to seeing me on my personal page.
Right.
And then through the platform that that we're using, I started giving me the opportunity to expand across the board. But I realized that and I started my business page and I started running ads to that page, and it grew significantly, like literally over like almost 8,000 people. And so I started streaming there. And so once I started to realize and because I think in every business or branding, sometimes in the beginning, you're kind of figuring things out. And that's the thing I want people to understand, is you don't have to have it all figured out, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I started figuring out my branding, and, I knew my message, but I started figuring out my branding over a course of a couple of years. Like, okay, now I need to have a dedicated page for this, and I need to expand here. And even though I didn't see the results that I wanted to see, I started to just keep being consistent, right? And then one day you look up and you see, I started to just focus on impact. And when I started to focus on just impact, I started to realize, I started to really love what I do. And I started to grow in areas where I can show up better, right? Without blinking off the camera, for one. But and it takes time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick break real quick, and when we come back, I want you guys to talk to us about the name of your podcast, and I want you to give us all things what your podcast about. So if you are watching, make sure if you are just now watching, make sure you hit hashtag replay. Go back to the beginning of the video when you get a chance and see and get the laugh with us in the beginning, because we had some funny moments in the beginning of the podcast. So if you are just now watching, put hashtag replay in the comments. If you're watching the next day or after we air, make sure you let us know and engage with us. Let us know if you're thinking about starting a podcast, and if you have any questions in regards to Carolyn or Patricia, make sure you put it in the comments and engage with us. And while we're on the show, we'll answer it. We'll try to answer it while we're live. If not, we'll get back to it if it's posted afterwards. So we're gonna play this quick commercial, and then when we come back, we're gonna get into talking about this podcast, and we're gonna talk about where you can see it and all that good stuff. So call up your girlfriends and tell them Sisterhood Check-In is on the air. We'll be right back after this.
Oh yes.
Step in the circle, queens rise and glow. We talk truth, let the inner light show. Real ones link, we ain't moving alone. Faith, fire, purpose, built in the bone. Mind on mission, heart stay aligned. Sisterhood strong, power redesign. Checking in weekly, spirit refined. We break through the noise, wisdom divine.
Check in, tap into light. God in the middle, we fight the good fight. No mask, no shame, come as you are. From broken to bold, yeah, we're raising the bar. Sisterhood check-in, tap into light. This ain't just talk, we walk with the word. Faith in motion, fly like a bird. Healing in a rhythm, truth in a beat.
I see you carrying everyone else's burdens while your own heart I see you carrying everyone else's burdens while your own heart is breaking. Don't Die in the Storm isn't just a book. It's permission to put yourself first.
I felt lost when I lost my loved one. I felt hopeless and didn't know where else to turn. I felt numb because of the pain. I didn't want to talk to anyone.
Nadira speaks, her voice carves the air. Proverbs painting pictures, stories laid bare. She moves mountains with the flick of a prayer. Lessons of the word, truth leaves there. Parables weaving through beats that don't stop. Wisdom dripping down like rain on the block. Holy Spirit whispers, hands on the clock. Life lessons knocking, door unlocked. Yeah, scripture in the veins, running through the flow. Life's foundation, roots that grow. The spirit moves where the mind can't go. Biblical wisdom, it's all I know.
Eddie, all of joy, let it cover my soul. Let the scent of redemption make my heart whole. I wear his promise. I wear his peace. The essence of a woman, bold, yeah, me. Oh, the oil of joy is the fragrance of me.
Sisterhood Check-In with my amazing special guests, Carolyn Taylor and Patricia Oalsen. Thank you so much for joining us back here. I know I'd have messed up your name. Lord, forgive me.
Oalden.
I told you I probably was gonna mess up your name about 4 or 5 times tonight. I'm just gonna say Pat.
About 4
I
or
heard
5
her
times,
say
that's
Pat. I'm just gonna say Pat. We got Carolyn and Pat here. I used to have, that just makes me feel so good because when I was younger, there was a lady that used to live in my aunt's apartment before she passed away. And I can remember growing up, and we used to call her Auntie Pat. Her name was Pat. That's all I remember was Auntie Pat. And I could remember every time we go to her house in New Jersey, we would go to my aunt Rosalind's house, and Auntie Pat would always knock on the door, and she always, she would always knock on the door with a hand on her hip, and she would be like, Rosalind. And she would and I love the little scratchy tone in her voice. And it's amazing. Like when you look back and you be like, dang, I miss those moments growing up. Being able to answer the door with those poles up against the door. You had to slide the pole back.
Ooh,
They
honey.
don't know nothing about that. They ain't from New Jersey and New York. They don't know nothing about the poles,
We know about a whole lot more. The bats be behind the door and everything else.
Okay. My aunt had them poles in her apartment where you had to put the pole back and lock the pole in.
Lock the pole in.
Man, that's crazy. But welcome back here to Sisterhood Check-In. And we have our amazing guests. So we're going to talk about in this segment, we're going to talk about your podcast, all things concerning your podcast. So I'm going to let you take the stage. And I want you guys to talk to us about your podcast, where it's going to be displayed, what is your plan so that people can watch and follow you on your podcast. So take it away.
Okay.
Well, right now you can find Her Comfort Zone on YouTube, where we're going to be airing our episodes on there. So you can find us at Her Comfort Zone at Comfort Zone -CP. So look for us, subscribe, please subscribe, and just continue to stay informed with what we're doing with the podcast, because Her Comfort Zone really is where the heart meets healing, because Carolyn and I are just really two voices united by one mission, which is to create a space where comfort isn't just a feeling, it's a practice.
Wow. And you said it's Her Comfort Zone?
Yes. Her Comfort Zone.
It's the name of the podcast.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to look for you so that I can show the audience.
Oh yeah, please do. Yeah.
So okay, so do you guys have any is it already, I'm assuming it's already set up, right? So
Yes.
you said, I heard you say it was a dash in there somewhere.
You need to go. It's the handle is at Comfort Zone.
Okay, that's what there we go. There we go. Okay, so you guys can come on, I'm gonna pull it up.
At Comfort Zone -CP.
Oh, at Comfort Zone -CP.
CP.
Yes.
Okay,
That's on YouTube.
That one is not it. The one I just pulled up. Yeah, that one, y'all. I'm sure of that.
Pull it up.
That was not it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up your podcast. Hi, how you doing? Leva Star says, hey lady, love you. Hey ladies, love you, Carolyn. Oh,
Hey.
and somebody named Jean Glover said Bay. Yeah, I don't know who that is, but thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the compliments and all the, I don't know who that is, but thank you for watching. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pull it up right now on for those of you that want to subscribe, you'll be able to see exactly what Her Comfort Zone looks like. The handle, as she said, is Her Comfort Zone CP. Make sure you add that CP, because let me tell you, if you pull it up, what I just pulled up, you may not.
And CP is for Carolyn and Pat, so it's Comfort Zone -CP.
All right, so here is Her Comfort Zone. So I see you guys have already started posting. Look at you, 332 views for coming soon. All right. I love that.
Yes, we've been hard at work. We've been hard at work.
Beautiful. I love it. ready. Y'all, right. I'm looking at your scorecard. You guys are doing extremely well on this video. And there are some things that I can, that I'll be able to go over. You that I have the IQ because IQ gives you data regarding your podcast, which because you need to be able to know how each video is performing, so you'll know what to be better at, how many seconds they're watching, how many minutes and stuff. So it's good to be able to, after we talk about this, I'm going to talk to you about some software that you can use to kind of help with your podcast, so that way you'll have it here, and then that way those of you that may be watching may be saying, hey, I want to start a podcast too. What do I do? Where do I go? We're going to talk about that towards the end of the segment. So I see you have, this is a snippet of her comfort zone. You have a quick 10-minute. You guys will show a few.
That is actually the first episode that has dropped today.
Okay, so there you go.
It dropped today.
Wow, I love it. Okay. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast. I love it. Wow.
Carolyn. Oh, we finally made it.
We did it.
Welcome. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Thanks for pushing forward with this, because this is something I've had in my bucket list years ago. No one really knew about it, but God sent another person to actually rebirth and water the seed.
Plant that seed. I've been planting the seed for years. Just planting and planting. Planting and planting.
Now we're here. It's about to be harvest time, and we're excited.
We're so excited. We're so excited you are joining us.
Yes.
As we take this journey to begin the comfort zone.
Welcome to her comfort zone, where the heart meets healing. Grab your tea, come on in, and let's begin.
All right. So guys, if you want to watch her comfort zone, make sure you go to her YouTube page at go to youtube.com/comfort zone CP to be able to watch their podcast. I'm just so excited. I love the introduction, so very authentic, right? And it's everybody has their signature look. Everybody has their signature brand, right? That they want, that they bring. So I love the little t-shirts with the logo. You guys look so unified. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys continue to talk about her comfort zone. So what are some things that you learned in the process of creating this podcast? What are some things that you've learned that you can share with other people that are watching that might say, hey, I want to do this, but I don't know if I can do this?
Ooh, Carolyn, you want to start with that one?
Yeah, I will start. This has been a journey, because first of all, Patricia and I, we're not the type of people who just post and do that and all around. It's just not who we were. So we took on this journey, and all we knew was that we wanted to share our life, have women slow down, enjoy themselves, talk to them about what we're doing, how we navigated our life, just simple stuff. And then we realized, okay, we have to videotape this, we have to do it live or put it out there. Neither of us knew how to edit anything. So it was like, and it took us a while to realize, like, it's not going to be perfect the first one. We're going to look back, let's say, and I'm going to put this out here, we're going to look back 10 years from now and be like, look at our first video and what it looked like, and and where we're going to be 10 years from now. So it's not perfect, but it's what God placed in our heart to do. So we put it out there, and we finally said, okay, we're going to go ahead and post it. It's going to do what it's going to do. Still being obedient, but the trials and tribulations of just figuring out where to stream from, how to get us together on stream. And then we decided, okay, we'll just, do it in one location. We're still working on that, separate stream, her in one location, me in another one. The
trying to use
content,
the best one.
the content that we came up with. Now that was the easy part. The content of how we would, form the podcast. That was the easy part. It was very structured. So we knew that. And when I say very structured, it's just that we knew exactly what we were going to do with that part, because nothing about this podcast will be structured. We're just running our mouths and talking and having fun. We're having a lot of girl fun, yelling at each other and loving on each other and talking about our experiences and stuff like that. And eventually we do want to have, guests on. And that, that'll come down the line as we get more and more familiar with how to do this podcast thing. It's not easy, but I say to those who are trying to do or wanting to do one, just jump and do it. Just do it. Just do it. It's not going to be perfect, because if you're looking at everybody else's out there and you're saying, okay, they're doing it this way. Oh, that is so good. I want to do it that way. You will get there, but just start. You got to start somewhere, because they had to start somewhere as well. Just start and do it. Just do it. Trust your gut.
Yeah, and just don't be afraid to explore, because you start to learn so much more about who you are and what you're made of. And sometimes, you have to step out of that comfort zone in order to be able to be the very best person that God has called you to be. Because even in this, we were a little hesitant about a few things, because we wanted it to be with other people, but then it was narrowed down to where it was just, well, Cal, let's go. And so we just decided that we're not going to wait and procrastinate, because our voices needed to be heard. And because we were always in the background, supporting everybody. And so it was to the point where it's like, well, you know what? We have a lot to share too. So it was to the place where, it's time for us to be able to come forth. It's a little uncomfortable. So for those who think that their voices are best heard in the background, you have to come to the front.
It's very
and that was
uncomfortable.
one of the challenging things for me, because I'm always behind the scenes. And I'm just like, no, I don't need to be in the front. You go right ahead. That's your zone. But now that God said, no, the last shall be first, so he's bringing us forward. And so for those who think that they're not enough or that their voices are not valuable, please don't think it. Wherever you're at, just come forth and take baby steps. It's okay. But at some point, you're not going to be dipping your toe in that water for long once you realize I need to go ahead and speak out, because when there's something for you to be said, you're going to say it. Yeah. Whether it's one audience or 1,000. So just be true to who you are and go for it.
And the odd thing is, when Pat said, she's always likes to be behind the scenes. It's like both of us are like that. We're not the ones that you find in front of the camera and doing that type of thing. And for God to put us together to create this and said, just do it. That's amazing all on its own. So we're like, we got to do it. So we're both like pushing each other to do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. And we're doing it together, which is good. So we're very, we're very blessed in that way that we're able to do this together.
I love the unity. I love the unity that you guys have. And I think that's important when you're partnering with something like this, is being able to have the same spirit, have the same mission, the same love, and be able to learn the art of working together as a team. I think that's
collaboration.
Because when you're working together for the one goal is to make sure that the content that you're bringing is helping people, it just makes such a difference. I love that. It's been, just listening to you guys just like take over, and Carolyn said something and then Patricia comes. It's like, like
a lot of that.
I love that. It just shows the unity. And I think, the Bible said wherever there's unity, he commands the blessing. And I think with you guys being together, unified, it definitely sets the stage for your voices to be heard. And for people to see, like, I can do this, I can partner with the right partner. I can sit together with somebody, and because it is a lonely space, like it is a lonely space to be out in the internet streets, and you just out there feeling like you just butt naked, like you just out there and you just feel like the whole world, even though it's not the whole world, but you feel like everything and everybody is watching your mistakes and watching when you say something wrong, if you misquote a scripture by just
oh my goodness,
say and instead of and then you get all the hate mail like, oh, that's not what it, so it's good to have somebody there to be like, hey, I like when good job, like like you're working in unison.
Yeah, we're doing it together. Yes. And we have to also realize that we all we were all born for a purpose.
Yes.
And not every purpose God put in us was meant to be done alone.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to do it with others. That's the way He has designed it. But the way we move nowadays it's like we think we're supposed to do everything alone. It's my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. But if you think about it, none of our purposes are done alone. Wherever you're going, it's done with someone helping you or supporting you along the way.
Yes.
And it took me a moment to realize, then maybe that's why I was so hesitant about starting a podcast, is because, and I kept planting it because I felt like I can do this on my own, but I'm not supposed to do this on my own right now. And I think it took me a while to do that. And I knew God would surround me with people, women, whomever would be able to do this with me. And it just happens to be my girl right there, Patricia.
Yes. Yes, it makes me think about that.
And the thing with that is that
walk together except they agree. I love that.
Yeah. And the thing is that we as women, we have to learn to collaborate and not be in competition with one another, because we're not in competition. This journey is supposed to be when you're walking with someone hand in hand. You can't birth the baby by yourself. Well, you can birth the baby by yourself, but you can't conceive it by yourself. Okay, so when you start thinking about things that we're birthing, it takes two people. It takes sometimes three people, and it's always better if you have somebody with you along the way to share it with too. So
I agree.
And I want to say this as well. As we were working through this process to get where we are to now of dropping our podcast today.
What was that again?
Dropping our podcast today. As we were getting to this journey right here, because Patricia has a hard, not rough, but she has a busy life. I have a very busy life. My baby's getting married in April.
Yes.
So it's like, I know, right? It was like there were times where she couldn't be involved in making the plans and doing the stuff and editing and stuff like that. So we were tag teaming with each other. And you have to be able to do that. You can't just sit there and say, well, she ain't doing nothing, so I'm not going to do anything, because I'm not doing everything. So you have to be able to be align with the person who you will eventually come back together and work together on that project.
Yeah.
You have to be able to pick up the slack basically when one of us falls off, because that's life. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to. And I think, I think it's good when people can collaborate and have one vision, one heart towards it. And you're right, no competition, just wanting to just. And I think especially in our community, it's hard, and I don't know why. And I think it's hard because I think sometimes you just don't want to give up control. It's like when it's your baby, it's like, oh, this is my baby. I don't want nobody to, and sometimes you have to be like that to protect your vision, and then until the appointed time, because I think sometimes in the infant stages, depending on where God has called you, sometimes depending on your messaging, sometimes you may have to wait until the third stage, to be able to have a partner. And in some cases, that collaboration can come in terms of guests, where I call them co-hosts, you guys are like co-hosts, right? Because I think sometimes if you don't, I remember one time my daughter called me and she said, Mom, I had a dream about your podcast. And she said, I had a dream that you were carrying a TV. And she said, and it was as if, I don't know, she said, it's like I tried to give, she said something like in the dream, either I gave the TV for somebody else to carry, or I was asking for help to carry the TV or something like that. And they dropped it and it broke. And when she said that, I said, ooh.
well, who would be carrying, but I realized then that even then you have to, when it's something that God is giving you, there's an appointed time for everything, right?
Yes.
So you have to guard the vision that God is giving you, and guard in terms of what, maybe I shouldn't use guard. Maybe I should say steward. Maybe the best word is steward. You have to
protect,
steward.
I'm about to say it's protection.
Steward the vision that God has you, because because the fact that you, especially when you start gaining impact, you start making impact, you want to make sure that that you don't give the enemy any room, right?
Oh yeah,
to kind of come in and I don't know what that is. You don't want to give the you don't want to, you want to make sure that you don't want to make sure that you don't give the enemy room to come in and destroy. Right. And so I think praying, being able to have a partner that you can pray together, I love the time that I had my partner here, the time that she was here. I loved it. We had so much fun. I think the fun part with us getting together was the clothes shopping. She was the person to get the clothes, and I was just like, I don't care. She was like the clothes. I loved being able to have her, as a partner, because she was the one that would be like, I'm gonna go and get the clothes, and I'd be like, okay, you get the clothes. I'm focusing on the content, but it is fun when you have somebody that that's like-minded and want to be a part and want to help you with the vision that God has had for you. So in our short time of working together, I enjoyed it. We had so much. I mean, we had our moments, but we had some fun time too, because it's not always easy working with even with the best interest. Sometimes you're going to have things happen. You're going to disagree on some things, but keep God in the middle of it, and He'll show you how to navigate through those things, those challenges. And it got to a point where my partner, she decided, it was just, she didn't feel like she was, she just didn't feel like, she wanted to do it anymore. And I hated it because I enjoyed, being able to, it was fun, but even for that moment, even for the time frame that I was there, I enjoyed her. It was so fun, right? And it is nice when you have somebody there to help you with the vision, help walk with you in that journey. What is have you guys, I know you guys are just starting in the preparation for the podcast. Did you guys did you have to navigate through any challenges, or was it just like smooth? Did you just have it perfect? What were some of the challenges that you went through?
Trying to figure out, number one, what platform do we really want to be on? Just trying to see where can we have the most impact, and even trying to figure out the videos. How do we come up with something that's catchy, the reels, what's going to interest people? And so just thinking about those things and strategizing, it was always something that we were like, okay, how do we start this podcast? So, our best friend is to YouTube these podcasts that are out there. What do people do? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Because, and we found that none of these look like us or feel like us. So we literally I looked at your podcast too.
Oh,
I did. And so just trying to see what feels like home for us. And when people tune in to us, what do we want them to walk away with? So when you close your eyes and think about, everything always starts with a blank canvas. So we had to literally ask each other, what do we want to give to our audience? Who are these people that we want to see? And so that was the first challenge. Then, just trying to figure out, where do we go to air this at? How are people getting the message out? And how long do we need to hold off before we actually launch it? And how many times do we need to meet before we actually come up with the best content? How do we, it was just so many, how do we? So we had literally start researching piece as we went along. But the challenge still today is, which platform is going to be the best? Like, I love the platform that we're on now with you, but of course, the ones out there, how do you determine which one is going to be the best for what we're trying to do? So far, I'm liking yours. But there's other ones that we've tried and we just haven't found that one place yet, which is disturbing. So that's where you're going to probably come in to help us, guide us there. But even with trying to figure out who's going to do the editing, you know, because we did our own editing, you know, and we were thinking that that's not good enough. We need other people to take a look at this and see what they think. But then we said, do we want to deal with the criticism of what they say may not be good enough for you to air it at this time? Said no, because this is just who we are.
Yeah, it's who we are, and it's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect, you know. It's not structured. It's us having fun, talking on our couch or wherever, enjoying each other's moment. That's
but we still have that good structure from A to Z.
Yes. That part is structured.
Hey, guess what, guys? 2026 Sisterhood Check-In is now offering opportunities for those that want to partner with us here on the broadcast. Make sure you click the link somewhere in the video so that you can get information on how you can become a partner with us. Whether you're a business owner, a new entrepreneur, we want to share your success with you. Okay. Hey, guess what, guys?
That
Sisterhood Check-In is now offering opportunities for those that want to partner with us here on the broadcast. Make sure you click the link somewhere in the video so that you can get information on how you can become a partner with us. Whether you're a business owner, a new entrepreneur, we want to share your success with you.
Okay. I didn't mean to play that 2 times, but so you know, so in your have you guys decided your roles, like in terms of who's going to do what? I know you guys said you're still figuring it out. Have you discussed roles, like who's going to do the editing, who's going to do the research? Like, have you determined roles?
No.
So for editing, I'm pretty much doing editing piece of it.
Okay.
And then we'll go back and forth to say, what do you think about this, and get each other's feedback. And where there's room for improvement, that's where, you know, I'll go ahead and take that role and start creating it from there. But because there's so much content, it is challenging at times, so I feel like we do need someone else to do the editing piece of it once we're done. But we'll probably start looking at that down the line. But for now, I'm kind of glad we're doing it ourselves first, so we have a better understanding and more of an appreciation for the person who comes behind us, and we'll be able to add some great input and make sure that we're a part of that editing process too, because now that we've done it and we're doing it, we can actually structure it a little bit different, and we'll know when it's right.
Yeah.
In terms of if someone else does it, it doesn't feel like us, or this is us, that's perfect.
I can tell you one thing. If I had to give you any advice, what I would tell you is learn how things work.
Okay, yeah.
So that you know, so that you can hire where your area of weakness is, and you can feel confident, right? Because I think what happens is if you hire people who are great, not just great because you like them, but great at what they do. Because if you hire somebody who is great at what they do, they're going to be optimistic. They're going to be objective. They're not going to, they're going to look at the vision for what it is and be able to see, okay, areas that can be improved. And I can tell you that, and sometimes you might have to do it, in the beginning while you're learning the process, which will be good, because then you'll know what to hire out. Because sometimes when you just hire everything, and then that one day you're not, let's just say that 1 month you're like, oh, I may not be able to financially afford. Now you're like stuck because now that person. So I would suggest learning, learning the ropes, learning, how you want to get because one of the things I've always noticed is, and I've heard this from many people, is that it's just that one person that I've had last week kind of really put the wording that kind of sums up what my podcast experience is like. And she said, Nadira, your podcast is an experience from the time that you log on. And that was one of the things that's huge to me. I wanted, like you guys have comfort zone. Being able to, I've always known that I was an atmosphere changer. I've known that at a very early time in my life, that I can be in a particular area and change the atmosphere based on just
just on who I am, right? And so that is one of the things that I wanted to create in my podcast. I wanted to be able to create an experience that it would be just not another podcast with another Black girl just talking and running her mouth, right?
Yeah.
I wanted this to be a podcast where people, when they listen, they can listen to it with their kids, they can listen to it with their mom. And I'm excited because in the next, I'm getting ready to implement some things, and I'm not a gatekeeper. I feel like, there's so many things that God has really shown me that 2026 for, 20 Sisterhood Check-In, you guys keep watching. You're going to if you glean from me, you're going to learn some stuff. And one of the things that I'm going to do is, that little thing that says waiting to exhale, the waiting to exhale parties, all the women, a bunch of women get together and they sit, they have like a party and they watch Waiting to Exhale, and they have all the memorabilia from Waiting to Exhale. Well, I'm going to be doing something like that this year for Sisterhood Check-In. So it's going to be Sisterhood Check-In parties where women will be able to get with a group of women and be able to have a Sisterhood Check-In party where they get all the gear, the pajamas, the memorabilia, and be able to watch Sisterhood Check-In just the same way as Waiting to Exhale. And I think that's the whole point, is to create a safe space for people to feel like I can relate to Carolyn, I can relate to Pat, I can relate to Nadira, and be able to sit down and I do it so late at night. And there's times I felt like, oh, I'm gonna change it. But when I thought about it, I was like, this is a time when a lot of people are putting their kids to bed if they're a mom. This is the time where people are done doing their housework, doing work, period. And this is like that wind down time where you're just like, you know what, let me just sit and just, and learn from other people, because we have all kind of people here that's on here, that's podcast that share all kinds of wisdom. So my thing I want to ask you ladies is, what wisdom do you want to share, right, with the women that are watching now, based on your own experience and based on what you're learning? What wisdom did you want to give them in regards to starting a podcast and being able to, and still, have a regular job, because you guys are still working, right? Talk to us about what that was like. How are you doing? How is that working out, working a regular job and doing a podcast? What are some of the challenges you're facing and some of the good things?
I'm burning the candle on three ends. How about that? Let's start right there. Let's start there.
Which is why it has to be a passion that you want to do. Because
I'm
just doing it because you want to do it for fun, it ain't gonna work for you. Nope.
It ain't fun.
You want to do this.
Oh my gosh. She said, I'm burning the candles on all.
And she is. She truly is. I'm like, okay, I heard of that. She's busy. I know she's busy.
Oh my God.
10-hour shifts. Okay.
Yes,
4 days
does.
a week. And when you get off, you transition quickly.
Yes.
Because what I've learned, and anybody who's thinking about, even if it's not a podcast, whatever it is you're doing, don't allow that day job block you from doing what's in your heart and what God planted in your belly. Because everybody has a seed. Everybody's seeded with a gift of passion. So that thing is, when you're walking in that and this is what you're supposed to do, don't let anything stop. Just keep moving. You may be tired, but keep pushing forward. Take some time to breathe when you get off of work, de-escalate, and then go into that mode of, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to let anything stop me. And so for anybody who has something that they want to do with the podcast, just research, and research. Build. Those blocks are very important. And she even spoke about something with the instructions. Everything has there's a manual for a lot of things in our lives. So you got to look at that thing and see how to put it together. Once you figure out the parts that's supposed to match with this, and you start building from there, all of a sudden you see the ending of what you started. It's just like, wow, I built that. Yeah, because you followed the steps. But if you miss something in between, guess what? Something may fall down and you got to start over again or pick it up from where it fell down now. But, if you continue to follow those instructions and really be open with yourself. This is the area where I'm not the strongest, so I need to call in the doctor. I need somebody to tell me the next. What do I need to do to fix this problem?
She said, I need to call the doctor.
I got to call the doctor.
Well, at least you can admit that that when it gets to a point you are ready. You are.
I don't know what to do.
Especially if you burning a candle the way you do. If you burn them from all three sides.
I got three.
She is. She truly is. Yeah,
so
that's dedication right there. That's
dedication. It is, which is good. So you want somebody in your corner like that. If you're going to have anybody, you want somebody who's dedicated to do that, And I would say that if you're going to start a podcast, you really have to ask yourself why. Yeah. Why do you want to start this podcast? Because if you don't have that why, you will stop.
Yep.
But if you got to remember your why.
Remember why you're starting it. What is it for? Is it just so you have fun, or why are you doing it? And if when you get answer that why, wait a minute until you're able to answer that why.
Yeah. Their why is very crucial, because you will get tired some days. Some days you don't feel like it. There's times I've done Sisterhood Check-In sick. I wouldn't suggest it, but I was like, I'm going to show my dedication. And I did several episodes, truly sick and
just show up
through. And I think it's because of my why, because I always have the mindset of what if somebody's watching?
Yeah. And
what if somebody's watching that date? I decide not to show up. Right?
Yeah.
But now I've learned that there's ways to solve that too.
There you go.
There's an app for that.
There's ways around that. It's called replay.
Replay.
You didn't look. You be like, you didn't get the message last week. You will get it again, and you will get it again until you. And I've had to do that, especially like last year. No, I want to say the year before last. I did a lot of. Because I had so many different things, transitions and different things I was going through. And I was just like, I just didn't have the wherewithal to continue. And I almost got to the point, I was like, well, maybe it's just time. It's been a while. Maybe it's just time. But it's like the Lord won't let me quit. Like, it was like, oh, I just keep going. And I had to do it when I didn't feel like it. And there are some days I didn't feel like it. You could see it in my face that I was just like, and then there's some days I was just like, and then there's some days I get that bubbly feeling inside of me and I get excited and I be like, today is the day. And then
that's how we were today.
We've been like this whole week.
I was out today and my stomach was turning because I was so excited. Even with all the mess ups, I was so excited because I was just like, I love what I do. Like literally. And it's so funny because my mom, she was like, she calls it sisterhood. What she calls it? She don't call it Sisterhood Check-In. She calls it Sisterhood hood something. She said, she said you got to do the check-in thing. And I'm like, she's like, oh yeah, that's right. It's Friday. It's your check-in thing. And I'm like, check-in thing. Like, but it's gotten to the point to where my kids know. They know Fridays is production day for me. Fridays, I am all in where I'm like doing all the, like I spent, trying to make sure all the videos work and I'm constantly perfecting it and making sure that, and it's funny because this morning my internet just shut down.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, the devil is a lie. I had no shutdown and I don't know how long. The devil is a lie. This podcast is going to play because I was like, if I got to go to the library, if I got to go to Starbucks, we is not finna, when you've had enough of that.
You figure out a way.
I was like, we're not doing that again. I done went through, I done upgraded mics and I done got extra software. We ain't doing this. I done got a better computer. We ain't doing this. And work through the technical part through Xfinity. And next thing you know, it was up and going. I said, oh, thank God. But it's that desire, that desire to want to help other people is what keeps me stirred up. It's what keeps me going. It's what keeps me keep doing what I'm doing. So, I love that you guys are transparent and that you guys are working a job. I don't work for anybody, but
I work for myself, and then I'm homeschooling my girls, and there's some things that I just have a lot of things that I've got my hands in that kind of keeps me, tied doing different things. And but it is something that you have to discipline your time, because some people think that entrepreneurship means you just have all the time in the world, but actually you work harder as an entrepreneur.
You work hard for yourself. Yeah.
Because you have to spend more hours. Like with me, I do my editing. I do, and the crazy part, I didn't go to school for this stuff. Like I didn't go to graphic school. I went to the school of the Holy Ghost, to help me. Like literally, he has blessed the work of my hands to where I do all the promotions, the promos, everything. Just started offering this month the opportunity for people to partner with Sisterhood Check-In that want to become partners with us, and so it's constantly evolving, but it evolves as you grow. So as you guys grow, as you begin to grow, reach out to me, and to other people to, to say, hey, what is, how are things looking? Because when you got somebody that you can look at and say, hey, and get that good feedback, it'll help you to get better, for years to come. You'll be able to look back like I did. I looked at some of my videos. I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to delete like the first year of my video. I wanted to go back and press delete, but I said, you know what? No, because I want to see my journey. But I promise you, I wanted to delete a whole year's worth of videos, because I was doing videos on the go, going to my cousin's house, helping my cousin at the kitchen table with half my face missing, people talking for like this. Hold on, talking for 30 minutes and nobody hear me, and you like, and then you realize ain't nobody heard nothing you said, and you like, I ain't starting over. I'm just mad. And sometimes people call me and be like, hey, we can't hear you. I'm like, what you mean you can't hear me? I done been talking for 30 minutes. You're on mute. I'm like, my goodness. So I know, trust me, at least you got each other. We could be like, Carolyn, I can't hear. Carolyn, that's why if you see my desk, I got computer here, a phone here. I have everything so I can hear on all the platforms. And I will spend all Friday just in production, making sure everything works, not cut off, because, especially when it can be discouraging if you're why, what I'm saying, your why is not in place. But,
and I'm going to tell you, Pat and I when we were doing our videos, some of the videos, we realized that one of them was no volume at all. And we were just having a grand old time. We have to throw it away and start all over again with that letter. We was like, what happened to the no sound at all? And we were like, wow, okay, so now we got to do this over.
Trying to figure out how do we resolve that.
Beginning of our of producing this podcast, that would have deterred some people. Be like, I'm not doing this. This is too much work. We pushed through it, and we just gonna have to redo it again.
We just do it again.
Go pushing through.
Do it again.
Do it afraid, do it messing up, do it, when the camera fall on your face while you doing it. I started out with a cell phone, and I, invested into software that gave me the camera quality, and now I have a 5K camera. Well, before I was on my phone that gave me the 5K quality, and I did that for years. And starting where you are and having to deal with getting little pieces to hang on my computer and then watching the thing drop on my forehead while I'm in the middle.
That's the best one.
Like that, but I look back and I'm like, that was funny. I told you I went to my son's room and I was like, I got bleeped out of the broadcast, and I could watch my guests actually talking for 10 minutes waiting for me to come. And I could see her face like, are you coming back? And I'm like sitting there, and I told my son, I'm not coming back. That's it. I'm not coming back. He's like, no, Mom, you got to go back. I'm like, I'm not doing this no more. And then got back on, was like, hey guys. But in my head, I'm like, so
I love that one.
I've got some videos, but I enjoy, I am glad, like how David said, it was good for me that I was afflicted. It was good that the internet went
out. It felt good at the time, though. But
I didn't know it at the time. But I'm glad because, Thomas, would be like,
keep going, keep going. And my kids would be like, Mom, just keep going. And, you know, when people encourage you, you know, to keep going and keep pushing, and my friends like, you know, we keep going, you know, we enjoy it, we know. Then that was enough to be like, and then when people would say, man, I remember one time before I was on replay, people were like, I thought you was coming on Friday. You didn't come on Friday. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't even know you were like faithful like that. So there are, and then it's like, I knew the enemy was ultimately after me when he deleted my entire page. So I had to, and I just happened to get in just in time. This was like last year, I think it was. Last year, I was actually doing, I had, almost like 5,000 followers on my personal page. And one day I go and I had been doing repeats for so long. I hadn't even been in my page to do anything. I was just looking from the phone. And one day I go on my phone and I can't get into my page. And I'm like, what happened? And longtime friends, videos I've lost, of memories I've lost because I was uploading everything to Facebook to keep my space on my phone. Lost all of my memories. And, I lost a lot of followers because people were like, what happened? Do you even still do Sisterhood Check-In? I'm like, I'm on Friday. But people, so I started to realize, okay, I've got to do a platform outside of Facebook, which is why I did the Sisterhood Check-In Podcast app. So people trying to slowly move everybody to the app so that I don't have to worry about, if something like this happened, because they literally went in. Most people hack your page and just take over your page. No, my page was hacked and deleted. Somebody deleted my page. So I couldn't even get it back. It's been deleted. So
no access to anything.
No access to anything. So I got in time enough because they didn't get to, they could have got my business account too. But I got in just in time. I was just by the hair of my chinny chin chin, had to restart a Facebook page all over again. So I lost a lot of followers, from the sisterhood. So I'm like, I had to, for a year, keep rebuilding my audience again, because that was all I had. Everything was on Facebook. So it was like, when you lose Facebook, what do you do? I would definitely, if I had to give you guys any advice, it's good that you guys are doing it on YouTube, because YouTube is like the new real estate. You get to a place and you start getting monetized, that's something you can pass to your children. Hey, this is, it's like the new real estate. It's like digital real estate, So any final words before we actually end the broadcast? Any final words?
It's over already?
I know, right?
I know. We've been talking for almost 2 hours. It's time.
Yeah, it's been 2 hours. Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun, right?
It does. It does. It does. What do we have to say, Pat? What I would like to say first is thank you, Nadira, for having us on your show. Nadira she's such a sweet person. I love her to death. It's like when I have an issue, I call Nadira. It was like when I was writing my journals and I could not figure out nothing, the margins, and people I would ask who I know who have done books and done this and done, through Amazon and everything, got no help. Called Nadira. It was like what, midnight, 1 o'clock? I don't even know what time it was, and I was like, okay, I'm having problems here. Can you help me immediately? She sent me exactly what I needed. Didn't question, didn't say nothing. And she made sure I have exactly what I needed. And for that, I was like, she's a keeper. She is definitely someone that you want in your pocket, because she is good and she will help you when she can. And I'm so grateful that God has allowed you to be in my life for that. Even with this, it was like, Tom was like, yeah, Nadira said y'all are going to be on her show. And I'm like, oh, we are? No problem.
Oh, by the way.
And and Pat was like, we're gonna drop the night we go on. I was like, I'm with that too.
Yes, so I am a huge supporter of I'm a huge supporter because,
and I love that about you, and I appreciate you, and I'm so blessed that you are in our corner. And I also want to again give you the handle to YouTube and IG. So if you can go on IG and like us, follow us, right? Follow us on that.
I'm gonna put
That
your
would be
IG
great.
up. I'm gonna put your IG up so that they can see the IG.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think you got that because you follow us.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yes, you follow that. And the YouTube, if you could put that up as well, just so
Yes.
everybody has that. And go and subscribe on YouTube so that we can eventually start doing that live as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Patricia?
Well, I want to say thank you so much. I had a great time tonight. I did
Aw.
not know what to expect, but I am so glad we were able to do this with you. Coming out for the first time and trying to launch something is always a little intimidating. But when you have a support of someone who's
Yes.
experienced and who's doing it and doing it well in the spirit of excellence,
Oh,
those are the people you want to connect with to help guide us and making sure that we know that we have the support that's needed. And a lot of times people say that they'll be there for you to help you, but then when it's time to show up on the front row, they don't seem to make it. So I appreciate you for giving us an opportunity to be able to launch today and just making sure that the sisterhood is supported.
yes.
Yes, with your podcast and along with what we're trying to do and become even more. So thank you. And thank you, Carolyn, for allowing me to be a part of this too. To be on the podcast. Because I think about where we've come from and where we're at today. It was nothing but the grace of God that allowed us to be able to do this together. And now that I have a new sister, Nadira, that's
Yes. Yes.
so we won't be strangers at all. So I look forward to spending some time with you, even collaborating even more on a bigger stage, I hope. And that's the prayer, as we move forward in doing different things, that we would definitely have you involved.
I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. And I enjoyed you too. I always enjoy, being able to just have fun, because life is already going, you're already going to have challenges. And I love being in spaces where you can be authentically you.
Yeah.
And you can do business and be authentic at the same time. And that way you're not shifting into this, but you're shifting who you are into and creating spaces for women to be able to grow and take the wisdom that you have. I love that. And I pray that God will bless your podcast. And I'm going to promote you guys. I'm going to promote you.
And same for you too. We will do the same.
Thank you. I've met some I say this year, just starting, I've met some pretty amazing people that I'm just so grateful for. This is a new year. And I think that God is going to do something different with podcasting this year, with the, especially having the right voices out in the airways to be able to, realistically give practical as, and not just talk about it, but get practical wisdom. So I thank God for podcasts like yours, because somebody's going to listen to it and then you might be saving somebody's life.
Yes.
Right? You might be,
that's confirmation right there.
Because everybody's not going to tell you how you impact them. You may not know until you get to heaven, and God might say, you help this person. And that's how I look at it. That if I had to, even in my authentic, as authentic as I am, I still don't take for granted that somebody's watching and somebody may. So I try to make sure that even in all of my, that it's light, instructional, and at the same time, very intentional to make sure that, because you don't know. And I want, I might, some people do come back and be like, man, I really enjoyed it. And there's some people I'll probably never know, but I know that it is impact, because God will show it to me sometimes. And sometimes I might not do it, till I get to heaven. But in either case, I think, I'm just glad to see other voices out there, because there's a lot of voices out here and everybody's saying all kind of stuff. So to have voices like yours that be able to help, to join the journey with me and other people, right, that are giving wisdom to the younger generation. I'm just so grateful to be able to see you guys launch, and you guys are always welcome
to the Sisterhood Check-In Podcast. I'm really excited. And I also, if you haven't, also if you're not a part, Patricia, of the Sisterhood Check-In community, join the community, and on Facebook, where you can, we do a lot of encouragement. It's just not me. I encourage people that are in the group. If you have something, if you have some wisdom, because everybody in the group, I kind of like pay attention to. So, I think all of us have something to contribute to each other's life. Sometimes I'm looking in the group and I'm trying to see, like who's going to encourage me today.
Exactly.
So it's
Now,
a place.
I'm sorry, Nadir, what is the handle for Facebook? Because I tried earlier and I wasn't able to pull it up.
It's Sisterhood Check-In Community. And I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you on the page. Hold on.
Because for some, I think here, I think this is it. Sisterhood, got it.
Sisterhood
Got it.
Check-In
I see
Community,
it.
and I'll show it for those that want to that may also have those same questions. I'll show that too. Okay, I've seen that you just requested. I'm gonna go ahead and there you go, and then you'll get every time somebody is gets accepted into the Sisterhood Check-In community, we gets welcome, and I always encourage to put in the wisdom that God has given you. Tell, you don't know who's listening. I don't have to be the only contributing person, to be able to give the wisdom, but if you guys and for those of you that are watching, if you're a part of the Sisterhood Check-In community, you are more than welcome, and I've expressed it several times, more than welcome to be able to share whatever wisdom that God has for you, that can help another woman, because that's why it's a community.
Yeah.
It's a community of women, and we have 443 members.
Okay, I'll definitely share it. Because I was just thinking about, even with our podcast, as we go through A to Z, at the end of each episode, we always give a comforting word.
Oh, I love that.
Affirmation, yeah.
Affirmation. So we can drop that in there too.
Yes, definitely. So guys, there you have it. Carolyn and Pat. I enjoyed you guys so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed them too. If you are watching for the first time, make sure you go back and watch the hashtag replay so that you can hear about all the wonderful conversational points that we talked about. I'm just really grateful again for every one of you that are watching live and that will be watching on the replay. Also, make sure you go to their handle and just subscribe. Let's support one another. Let's go to their YouTube page.
Yes.
At her comfort zone CP, and IG is podcast her comfort zone.
Oh, you have to put a dash. Put a dash between the comfort zone.
Dash CP.
It's dash CP.
Okay, so let me get that corrected, because we want people to go to the right page. So you guys heard it yourself. So make sure, I'm going to go ahead and correct it. You let me know if this is up here right. It is. Is this the right information? Comfort. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Dash CP.
All right. So if you guys are watching, make sure you go to the YouTube at Comfort. I just hate when these things just pop off. They put a timer on this thing now. It's like you used to be able to keep it up there as long as you want. Now there's a timer. So make sure you go to at Comfort Zone -CP on YouTube and podcast Her Comfort Zone on IG and subscribe. Let's support one another. Also, if you haven't done so already, make sure you get my book, The Essence of a Woman, Understanding Your Kingdom Identities, 204 pages, 31 chapters of wisdom. It is, I know I say this about every one of my books, but I'm telling you, this is by far my best book. It is in hardcover and soft cover. And it is, I literally, every day, I'm always looking in the book. I think chapter 19 is my favorite chapter when it talks about clarity. And when I tell you it has reflection, journaling reflections, this is definitely a book that can be a part of your daily devotional, because it has scripture and it's really practical wisdom in the areas of identity. Because like we were talking earlier, a lot of people are getting their identity identity is being snuffed by their trauma. It's being snuffed out by the things that they're going through. And so this book, Essence of a Woman, is definitely one you definitely want to get. You can get that at coachingwithnadira.com, or you can go to nadiralewis.com to be able to get the book Essence of a Woman. And you can also, if you haven't done so already, make sure you join the Sisterhood Check-In community on Facebook. You can type in Sisterhood Check-In community, or you can type in the handle at Sisterhood Check-In community. Make sure you also join, if you haven't done so yet, I have a school community called Coaching with Nadira. It's called the Wisdom Academy. So the Wisdom Academy is for those that lack wisdom and want to get better at understanding and how to identify wisdom using the wisdom framework that I teach. Make sure you go to coachingwithnadira.com and you'll see all of my resources there. It's been such a pleasure having each of you here watch. And if you want to be a guest here on Sisterhood Check-In, make sure you stay tuned for details. I'm going to show you how to do that also. We'll be right back after this.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, guess what, guys? 2026 Sisterhood Check-In is now offering opportunities for those that want to partner with us here on the broadcast. Make sure you click the link somewhere in the video so that you can get information on how you can become a partner with us. Whether you're a business owner, a new entrepreneur, we want to share your success.
Yeah.
Hey, you've been watching a long time. Have you yet subscribed to the Sisterhood Check-In Podcast? Come on, hit the button. Join the family. We're waiting for you.
Kingdom building, no capping in our combo. Purpose on assignment,
Hey,
Holy Spirit be the combo. Nadira in the building, tell the devil he on borrow.
Have
Times
you
of
yet
destiny
subscribed
loaded,
to
now
the
we
Sisterhood
walking
Check-In
in out tomorrow.
Podcast?
Bible
Come on,
in my
hit the
hand,
button.
yeah, we
Join
standing
the
on the
family. We're
blueprint.
waiting.
God gave the vision, so the mission got a new scent. Podcast lit, Sisterhood, we the
you've been watching.
movement. Empires rise when the women stay true.
Have you yet subscribed to the Sisterhood Check-In Podcast?
Future
Come
on my
on, hit the
mind,
button.
getting mine like
Join
the
the
AC.
family. We're waiting for you.
Sisterhood heavy, still thugging with my day threes, repping for the kingdom.
Check-In is more than a community. It's a safe place for women who desire wisdom in every area of life. Hidden in biblical truth, we gather to learn, reflect, and grow together. No pressure, no pretending, just real women, real faith, and real wisdom.
Join the Sisterhood Check-In community on Facebook, where wisdom meets sisterhood. Nadira speaks, her voice carves the air. Proverbs painting pictures, stories laid bare. She moves mountains with the flick of a prayer. Lessons of the word, truth leaves there. Parables weaving through beats that don't stop. Wisdom dripping down like rain on the block. Holy Spirit whispers, hands on the clock. Life lessons knocking, door unlocked. Yeah, scripture in the veins, running through the flow. Life's foundation,